Hello, Twitter, and also all my classmates. My name is Eliezer Josué Montaño Carrillo. I'm 21 years old, and I'm currently studying for a bachelor's degree in foreign languages with an emphasis in English. Currently, I'm cursing my seventh semester, and well, I think that me, along with all my classmates, what we want is to like keep learning, improving our English skills, and through synchronic interactions, which is like the main activities that we will be carried out in this course of English 7th. And well, I want to share with you the answers that I provided to the questions of the first task. And then I want to start off by um, saying the purpose of the course. In this case, I'm going to read it out loud to you. The purpose of the course is to strengthen foreign language linguistic, social linguistic, and pragmatic competencies through accomplishment of oral production tasks in given sets of real-time interaction to communicate and discuss effectively about complex situations. So that would be the purpose of the course. There are a couple of things that I have written down, sorry, and that I have then I'm not going to use a slides for this presentation. I'm just going to let everybody go and flow as it goes, and then yeah, but I did write some things on my end in order to guide myself and be able to explain and say all the points of the activity, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to remember all of them, right? So the second is regarding the outcomes that we can find in the syllabus. We have four learning outcomes. So the first learning outcome is to be able to demonstrate oral skills, and also to express fluently and spontaneously about different cultural subjects, correct? And of course for academic purposes. So the second learning outcome that we might also find in the syllabus is to discuss controversial issues with arguments, and in order to convince everyone and to share different point of views. The third learning outcome is to interpret extended speech, even when it is not clear structured, and when relationships are only implied and not signaled explicitly, right? That's the third learning outcome that we find in the syllabus. And the last but not least is to describe complex subjects with clear and detailed information, developing particular points and rounding off with an appropriate conclusion. Okay, now we're going now with what synchronic interaction activities means, right? Because as I was saying, in the whole course we are going to carry out activities which um, take place in synchronic interaction environments. What I mean by this is that, when we talk about synchronic interaction, we're talking about activities that take place in, like, interaction between or among participants that take place in real-time scenarios, right? So um, I want to quote something that says Cheng. This person says that common synchronous elements are live webinars and teaching sessions using webinars and virtual classroom tools, right? So people meet virtually by means of computer over a network at the same time from different places. So this is what we mean when we are talking about synchronous interaction, right? Now, the activities, we have different type of activities during the course. We have seats in total. The task one is reflecting upon English language awareness. We have the task two, which is partaking in 7 weekly mandatory encounters. We have task 3, which is debating controversial issues. Task 4, speaking part of Cambridge C1 Advanced. We also have task 5, which is actually the only quiz or evaluation that we have during the whole course. It is a standardized test listening quiz. If I'm not wrong, it is the only one. And the task sets is delivering a real-time mini webinar. That's the last task that we have in this semester for this course. And then the activities that imply real-time interaction, or in this case synchronous interaction, are almost all of them. Well, like on only the first task, which is this one, and the fifth task, which is the evaluation or the test that we have most carried out, are the only ones that do not include asynchronous interaction. And the rest of them, all of them include this element, the real-time interaction. So okay, with that said, let's go ahead now. Okay, so there's also important to summarize for you the course rules and conditions in which, well, in the individual behavioral standards, I know that I must adhere to UNAD's guidelines on security, plagiarism, student conduct, and online etiquette. I must accept the use of a facial recognition tool, treat peers and instructors with respect, with showing the values that we have on our end, on our inside, with tolerance, with honesty. We gotta take part in synchronous activities to showcase our English speaking proficiency. We also have to regularly monitor my course and institutional email. I need to be attentive to my institutional email, see if all the notifications that I receive. I need to follow the course director's instructions, for the weekly sessions, so I need to pay attention to that as well. And then I must be punctual. Punctual is essential. I must be punctual for the synchronous activities that will be done, right, in this coming months, and the ones that I'm going to subscribe to, correct? Regarding the group behavioral expectations, well, I need to attend the web conferences. I need to keep in contact with my peers, also with my tutors. We have to keep speaking and talking with each other constantly. We gotta show respect once again. From my end, I gotta show respect to my peers and also to my tutors. And then I need to provide also, and I have to provide SIG and assistance in using synchronous tools to facilitate the collaborative learning process, right? And now the last thing would be regarding the last thing is regarding my institutional email. My institutional email is currently working fine. I just double confirmed that it is working well. I just checked some notifications that I received, so it's totally working fine. That's good. And having said that, we can continue then with the reflection, right? And with a couple of questions that I need to answer on my end. So just please bear with me while I'll pull it up here. I got it in here. Just give me a second. Okay. There you go. So there you go. So the first question is, have you got an English language level certification? If not, what do you consider your level to be at present? Okay. What can I say about this? Let me put it in here. Well, in this case, I would say that my current level of English is at B2. I got a B2 level of English, and I am saying this because I got a certification. I got an English certification as a B2 English proficiency when I was studying at the Colombo. That was like 4 years ago when I got my B2 certification. And I think that, since 2020 until now, my English has been getting better and better, step by step, year after year, it has been getting better and better. So I would say that um, my my English right now could be also getting to a C1. I'm not pretty sure about it, but it's just a guess that I have on my end. And uh, so yeah, I would say that it is kind of a B2 level, reaching almost a C1 level, because I am also working in a call center as a retention specialist. So I must retain the customers for them not to cancel their service with a security system company, which is called VII in United States. And the experience has been good so far. My English has been sufficient for me to be able to provide a great performance in that company. So, yeah, so I would say that even though I am certificated only as a B2 English speaker, I can also say that it could also be reached to C1 level, right? You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, pretty much it. Regarding how did I get the level that I have right now, I want to start off by saying that, um, well, I began when I was, I mean, since first grade of school, also been, I've always been taught English, like since I was in first grade, as I was saying, because I was in a bilingual school. The thing is that I was not that good in English. So even though it was a bilingual school, there were things that I couldn't comprehend, things that I couldn't understand at all, and it was not easy for me. I was like the worst in the English class of all my classmates. So it was until eighth grade, ninth grade that I decided to study English by myself, and not because I had to, but because I wanted to, right? And then I just I made my mind and I said, okay, I want to begin studying English. So, and the main purpose why I began to do it is that there were some songs in English, like some Christian songs that I loved them, and they were in English, right? The band is called Hillsong, and they had a lot of songs in English that I liked the rhythm. I liked how the instruments, how it sounded. I mean, it was just beautiful. The lyrics were amazing. So I was like, man, I have to begin. I need to be able to sing these songs and with a good pronunciation, because I don't know, man. I just need that. I felt that I had to do it, right. It was something that I long to do. And then, well, what I did for that is that I began to write down the lyrics of every song of Hillsong in English, and then after writing them down, I would memorize them, day after day. Every time I went to the school, I just set apart some time to just check the notebook in the yeah, just check the notebook and try to sing the song being along or with other people. I don't know, but I had it in there. Like every time I wanted to rectify what was that part of the song, I could just get back to my notebook and see what I had on there in there. Apart from that, then I went to Manizales. I began to study at the Colombo. Um, and the good thing about that is that in that same year, I was not only studying at the Colombo, but also I had a friend of mine who was living in the same place where I was living. We were like teammates because I was in a soccer team, in a football team, and we were teammates. So we lived in the same house, and he was Canadian. So I took advantage of that situation, and I was constantly speaking with him. I was constantly trying to imitate the phrases that he said, the phrases that he used, even to imitate the bad words that he said, because in one way or another, I think that that helped me to sound more American, or to sound more as an English speaker. You see. Um, so well, like a couple of years after that, I got graduated from B1 in the Colombo, uh, and then I began also, like a couple of years later, I began then to study, well, my bachelor's degree in foreign languages with an emphasis in English. um, I began to study this, and at the same time there were some friends of mine that also um, came from United States to here, to Manizales, where I was living, and so I had the chance to speak with American people, like for 3 months consecutives, and that was good. That was pretty helpful. It helped me to once again to know more phrases from United States, like some colloquial phrases, some words that they use, because even though I already had like a preparation or some basis on the educative institution, el de Colombo, um, I don't know. I think that the colloquial part was something that I was missing and that I needed as well to complement my English, and so I learned a lot from them. I took advantage of that situation every day. I was constantly asking them, and I was sometimes pretty annoying, but those were things that helped me a lot to improve my English, to speak with American people, like constantly and every day, 24/7. Um, Now, I think that at the top of the mountain, as I said in my script, in the reflection that I wrote down, is that um, well, because as I was saying, I'm also working in a call center. So a couple of years ago, I began working in a call center as a making like reservations for a hotel. Then in the same call center, I was transferred from that campaign, and then I began to provide customer service for people who had a payment processor, which is a Stripe. And then I stopped for a couple of months, and I got back to a different call center, and now what I'm doing is as a retention specialist, right, in VII, the security system. I think being part of a call center was absolutely key for me to improve my English, for me to speak more fluently, for me to organize more my ideas, right, to express myself more clearly, and yeah, I think that's how I got the level that I have right now. Now, the reason why I'm studying English as a foreign language is because I love English. I mean, that's it. Um, I I was a person who had a lot of difficulties to learn English when I was young, and I want to. And I know that it is easy. I know that this is a path that takes time, because learning a language takes time. But I think discipline, constancy, and faith um, can help you get anything that you want in life, right? So I want to help other people who think that English is almost impossible for them to achieve. I want to help them. I want to provide to them with good teaching skills, that English is not um, as hard as they thought, that English is not something they must be scared of, that they have to get out of their comfort zone and try new things. They have to take risks, right? And yeah, I just want to make English be seen as something easy for the rest of the people, and I think that I can do that by teaching, um, moreover, I would say that teaching is something that I like to do, and I've had some experiences already on that, and yeah, that would be it. That would be it. The fourth thing is, how is studying a language as an adult different from studying it as a child? Okay, okay, this one is a little bit more complicated. This is directly from a book that we are reading right now in the course. And well, let me then say it to you, right? Okay, the thing is that we have to take into consideration the fact that children have a developing mind, right? They have a developing mind, and it is not the same learning a language when you are developing your mind than when you already have a developed mind, like an adult, right? An adult learning, correct? So that's like the difference between both of them. One is developing their mind, and the other one has already a developed mind. And of course, I think that well, children, for they to learn a new language, it is going to be almost effortless, the knowledge that they get, because they do it kind of unconsciously, right? However, we do have knowledge on our end. In order for us to learn a language, we must like try to assimilate things from our first language to a second language, and then try um, to then try for everything to make sense for us. It is kind of more complicated to us, but we're not talking about the duration, we're talking about the difference, right? It's just that children do it almost unconsciously, and we do it consciously, right? And it might probably be the reason why it takes more time for an adult to learn accurately and properly a language, a foreign language or a second language. Besides that, let me check something else here. Okay. Okay, so how long should you study a foreign language? I think that it depends on, as the the lecture that was provided by the course said. I think it depends a lot on many factors. For example, like if you're currently living in let's say for example that I want to learn French. If I want to learn French, it's going to be easier and faster for me to learn French if I go directly to France, and I speak 24/7 with people around me that I speak French as well, right? So that might help for my learning of that language to be faster, faster and faster and faster. However, if you're not living in a country where that specific language that you want to learn is spoken, then yeah, it's gonna be more difficult, of course, right? But apart from that, I think that it depends also on how much you practice, right? Like how disciplined you are, how many hours per day are you practicing, like the dedication that you have for it. Um and yeah, I think that constancy is important along with responsibility, right? And those are crucial factors in this case. um, Regarding how long should you study a foreign language, um, let me check something in here as well once again, because I haven't notated. Okay. Okay, the thing is that like how long you take in order to to get a new language also is going to depend on whether you how do you say that, like I would say that in this case the interaction that you have with native speakers, the self-learning, and also the different contexts in which you apply your English is going to be indispensable. So Um, with that said, I think that if you want to get your English in such a way that you can speak it, even if, that you can speak that language even in the future, is that um, I mean, in order for you to do that, um, you have to plan a lifelong learning, right? And for that, it is necessary to implement an individualized study plan. This is what we call the ISP, the individualized study plan. So, for example, in the lecture, we see that for our individualized study plan to be properly done, or in this case, properly carried out, for it to be cohesive, we must take into account that we must make the most, for example, of our courses. We must make the most of our study, work, and travel abroad. We're gonna make the most of independent study. We gotta make the most of our reading, of our use of the internet. We gotta also work with native speakers. Um, I don't know what else, like friendships with the speakers of the language, writing to pen pals or friends and relatives. We gotta be immersive in internships. We gotta watch television, make the most of listening to radios and tapes, becoming acquainted with arts and art forms, foreign assignments as well, periodical assessment of progress, because we must evaluate the progress that we get, and and so on, right? But these are like the main points that we must consider in order to have a well developed ISP, and then therefore to make it part of the future for those who have decided and have thought about implementing another language for the long term in their lives. So this is the video. I think that it took a lot. My apologies for that, and I hope that I've explained everything clearly and that you've been able to catch the main ideas of this video. Then, um, with that in mind, I just want to say bye and thank you for listening to me, and you have a good day. Bye bye.